one of the police officers pulled out a gun. So I got up, like, mind you, we were separated a little bit on the curb, and I stood in between the gun and my friend. I got stopped because of my inspection sticker. So I'm still like, whatever, I'll just tell them I'm about to get it fixed. It's because of the tints, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, I'm in my early 20s. I'm moving around to different apartments. I'm not checking my mail. I'm not forwarding my mail. This was before everything was advanced on technology where you can renew your license, insurance, it comes to your email, all that. So I wasn't forwarding my mail or anything. He stopped me about my inspection sticker, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to tell him I'm about to get it fixed. No big deal. He'll let us go. But this is when he asked me for my license and my registration, and he's asking for the ID of my passenger, probably to make sure we don't have warrants or something. We were in a area that was kind of hot. We give him my license. He tells me to hold tight. You already know what that means. When the police tell you to hold tight, I'm still thinking I'm in the clear. I'm like, whatever. But I know that my passenger, we just left the plug's house. Okay? So my passenger has a duffel bag full of a variety of product and some weapons. So I'm thinking we're still cool. It's just an inspection sticker. No big deal. The cop comes back and he's like, he asks us to get out the car, just sit on the sidewalk. We're not in trouble. We're not being detained or anything right now. We just need to sit on the sidewalk. So he separates us a little bit, and we're kind of just like, what's going on? Like, what the hell? He comes back. Obviously, none of us had any warrants or anything like that. But he comes back and tells me, you know, your license is suspended. And I was like, huh? Like, I honestly didn't know. I had parking tickets, speeding tickets that I just didn't pay, and they had suspended my license. And I honestly didn't know, and I wasn't keeping up with it. So then we're still waiting for the insurance to come back. So he's asking if my passenger can drive the car for me. He's not allowed to let me drive away because my license is suspended. Another one pulled up, and they're like, you can't let him drive it because of the inspection sticker. Even if she did have someone that could take this vehicle, we can't let you drive it away. So we're waiting for the insurance or whatever to come back at this time. And the police that pulled up, there was two in one car. The police were being very rude to my passenger. My passenger was getting racially profiled even though he wasn't doing anything other than riding in my car, right? So that was starting to piss me off. Like, you're not gonna talk to him like that. You're not gonna do that. And one of the police officers pulled out a gun. So I got up, like, mind you, we were separated a little bit on the curb, and I stood in between the gun and my friend. The original cop comes back and he's like, well, your insurance is expired too. So now I guess, I don't know, I'm assuming that because my license, the insurance, and my sticker, I guess that means they can check my car. I don't know. No one ever gave them permission to go and check my car. So they search the car, pull out the duffel bag. We were not going to get out of there. So my dumbass, well, I don't know if I was dumb for that, but I said it was mine, and it was in my car. It was mine, and they arrested me. And mind you, I have nothing up until this point. Squeaky clean record, legal record, right? And so I was booked, processed. I was given, I think it was about 18 months in prison. Okay, because prison and jail are not the same. My Cat Williams voice.
19 felonies, times. No convictions. Yeah, Knock it off. Prison and jail aren't the same. No. I was given 18 months, and I served about 11 to 12 months. I got out early. I was good behavior. Didn't do it. Like I said, I had no priors. The person I took the charge for, they took care of me while I was in there. They made sure that I had money on the canteen. They put money away for me. They said I could crash with them. So when I do get out, I could get set up on my own. Until I get on my feet, you can crash here. We'll take care of you. We're good. So I get out, and I start immediately looking to be independent again. And I can't get anything. I can't get an apartment. Can't get a car unless I pay for it, like, in full. But I couldn't get financing for a car. I could not get approved for an apartment. Not because I was a felon, because of my credit. That's fucking crazy. The derogatory accounts on my credit, the negative accounts on my credit had more of an effect on me than being a felon. For drug charges, resisting arrest. Which is crazy to me. That's crazy that derogatory accounts, negative accounts on my credit held more weight than me going to prison for resisting arrest, distribution, drug charges, weapons, all that. What? So yeah, I had to really figure out how to fix my credit because being a felon wasn't holding me back. My credit was.
I need y'all to hear what I'm saying, that in my case, and I know I'm not the only one, that it was worse for me to have bad credit and not do anything about it than me being a convicted felon. It was worse for me to have bad credit than a criminal record. Knowing what I was going through, I was asking the family friends of mine. I was asking friends of mine, let me work on your credit for free. A lot of people were, they didn't trust me. They were like, no, I'm good. I don't care about credit. I don't need credit. I'm good, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, where can I help people? I went back to the jail. I went through all the approval process to be able to do it. And I started helping people that were in pre-release. Because I know firsthand, when they get out, whether they have support, money, anything, it's going to be hard to find a job. It's going to be hard to get an apartment. It's going to be even harder to finally get a mortgage. Knowing, hey, when you get out, you're not going to get turned down because you're a felon. You're going to get turned down because of your credit. Let me work on your files for free. Let me talk to someone on the outside on your behalf to get your information and work on your credit. So when you do get out, you don't have derogatory accounts. You don't have all this bullshit on your credit. So when you do get out, you can get a vehicle if you need one. You can get your own apartment if you need one. So not only did I want the knowledge to further my expertise in credit because I was really passionate about it, I wanted to help people that were just like me, that family disappointment, the black sheep of the family, come back out into the wild and not get denied for an apartment, like a roof over your head. That's a basic need. A vehicle. I don't care if we live in the city and the train and all that runs around. You still need your own vehicle. You want to feel independent, especially when you get out of jail. You want to feel independent again. If you have kids, you need to be able to take care of your kids, have a roof over their head and a vehicle to get them where they need to go. And again, this has nothing to do with you being a good parent, a bad parent, a criminal or anything, but everything to do with your financial report card, aka your credit. Like the credit mafia will treat you like a criminal based on your credit reports, whether you're a criminal or not. You gotta get rid of derogatory accounts. You got to. It's affecting you more than you think. It's costing you more money than you think. Credit management, understanding credit, repairing your credit, building your credit is a marathon. Okay? It's going to affect you for at least 7 years. Public records up to 10. Late payments affect you could be for 2. So if you can remove any of these accounts less than that time already, you won. You won. So let me teach y'all how to be stay-at-home millionaires by utilizing your credit. Was that my children talking? These little fuckers. Like if your credit is less than 720 and you have derogatory accounts, this is how to get rid of those derogatory accounts. Because the other side of credit repair, the other side of credit management, which is more important than removing, is rebuilding. Right? So you can rebuild all you want, but if those derogatory accounts are sitting on there reporting for 7 years, it don't matter. It's like you're pouring water into a cup with a hole in it. You have to plug that hole, which is removing the derogatory accounts. So while you rebuild, it affects you more in a positive way than just slow. And you cannot do one without the other. You can't rebuild and repair, and you can't repair if you don't rebuild. It's not going to happen. The repair part includes removing derogatory accounts. A derogatory account is anything that's negatively affecting your credit files. It could be old addresses. A lot of people look past the fact that they have old, outdated, or incorrect addresses. A lot of people look past the fact that your name is misspelled or your middle name is not correct. That's affecting you. That's derogatory information. That needs to come off. Those inquiries, late payments, collections, charge-offs, bankruptcies, child support, liens, all those are derogatory accounts, negative accounts. Those need to come off. Do not sit around and wait the 7 to 10 years, depending on what type of trade line it is. Don't wait the 7 to 10 years, depending on what type of trade line it is, to just fall off. Do your due diligence to get those removed. You can do it yourself, or you can hire someone like me to help you. Literally, credit repair is 2 parts, and if you hire my team to help you, it's a partnership. We need you to do the rebuild. We can't do the rebuilding for you. Nobody can do the rebuilding but you. You can do the removing as well, but if you hire a company like mine, we need you to still do your part and rebuild. I think that's more important. It's like a 51-49. Like they're both equally important. You know what I mean? And if you rebuild for 7-8 years, you won't have shit, but at least after 7-8 years, eventually your score will start to rebound and increase. But if you can do it sooner, remove and rebuild at the same time, then your score will start to show your efforts, right? I think that's important. I think people need to understand that because a lot of people have the wrong idea about credit, or they just don't understand it. And they don't understand that it's two parts. Everyone's going to have their own custom dispute flow depending on what's on your credit. Like you might have a bankruptcy, I don't. You have to target that bankruptcy for your files. I don't because I don't have one. I might just have collections, charge-off, late payments. Credit files are like a fingerprint. We all have them, but they're all different. But you can at least start removing derogatory information by doing this. This is my preferred method. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a financial advisor. A lot of y'all like to call me the GOAT. I'd never say I'm the GOAT, but I do fit the description. So this is my preferred method. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I only have 18,000 clients that we process every 35 days, but you don't got to listen to me. You got to get a credit report. You have to pay for a credit report. The free ones are not going to give you all the information that you need. They're a good start, but they're not going to give you everything you need. You need to order yourself a credit report. Find all the derogatory, also known as negative information that's affecting you. Addresses, misspellings of your names, incorrect names, birthdays, employers, late payments, inquiries, collections, charge-offs. This is how to start getting them removed. You can call them and you can let them know, hey, I have derogatory accounts, but they're not there to help you. They're not going to say, okay, and then just delete it. Like, no, it's there. It's getting reported. They're making money off of you. They're not there to help you. So what you need to do is create a paper trail. You can create your own letters. Very simple letter. Send the letter to the main 3 agencies, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. Whatever that derogatory account is being reported on, send a letter to that agency. My suggestion, because some people will sit there and put everything all in one letter. They'll put, say you're getting a letter to go to TransUnion. They'll put the names, the addresses, the late payments, the collect all on one letter. My suggestion is not to do that. Put all your personal information on one letter. Misspelled names, outdated addresses, wrong employers, outdated employers. Put all that on one letter. Put all your collections on one letter. Put all your charge-offs on one letter. Put all your late payments on one letter. If you have 14 letters that go to Experian, then you got 14 letters that go to Experian. If you have 4 letters that go to TransUnion, then you're going to have 4 letters that go to TransUnion. Yeah, like some people will just put all their shit on there and then like they're going to get kicked back. You're going to get a stall letter. You're going to get, this ain't you. What the hell are you talking about? A lot of people think when you send that letter off, a human is checking the mail, getting it, opening their letter, looking at it. Oh, they're disputing trade lines. They're pulling it up in their computer. They're going to get their supervisor. That doesn't happen. Those humans are not even in the same building where your letters go. And if they are, they're not reading the letters. They're just throwing them in a machine. It's called EOscar. It's a very advanced, like you thought AI was cool. Like they've been ahead of us. EOscar is that girl. So EOscar reads and codes your letters. When you have everything combined, it's just going to kick it back and send a stall letter, or it's going to say, yup, it's verified. It's just going to code you. It's just going to code your derogatory accounts, your addresses. It's just going to code it and collect it all together. It's going to send you a kickback, a stall letter. They might not even investigate it. Okay. And then you call 3 months later and you're like, I've been disputing information on my credit. What's going on? And they're like, we don't even have anything. Like they're not there to help you. Side note, if you don't like the rep when you call, hang up and call until you get a rep that you like. Okay. Separate your letters and separate your accounts. So all collections on one letter goes to TransUnion. All outdated personal information, all on one letter, goes to TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. Whoever's reporting it, separate those letters into those categories. You can also call them and do that way. But again, you really want to form a paper trail. Calling and sending this first round of letters it's really just trying to knock off any low-hanging fruit. As a credit professional, I do want to say that we do advise against disputing online because it waives your rights. So if you do go to sue them and there's also not really a paper trail, you've just waived all those rights if you dispute online, which is why free apps like Credit Karma and things like that make it easy for you to dispute online, but it waives your rights. So you want to create the paper trail. You want to mail those old school letters to the credit agencies. You want to create that paper trail. You want to do this every month. My staff specifically, we do 35 to 37 days because if it falls on a weekend, right, holiday, every 35 days we're sending out another round of letters. Every 35 business days. Never, 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 never send the same letter because you're just going to get marked as frivolous, fake, right? You're going to get the computer, the EOscar system is going to code you as frivolous. If you send the same letter, you want the same accounts, yes, but you want to change up the verbiage on there. Whether you get a response from them or not, whether you get a stall letter from them or not, whether they tell you they didn't have received anything or not. Every 35 business days, you're sending another round of letters until you get the desired results. If that takes you a couple months, it takes you a couple months. If that takes you a couple years, it takes you a couple years. Either way, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Keep sending letters every single month. No matter what they do, keep sending letters until you get your desired results. A lot of people will call and say, well, they didn't remove it. They said it's verified. I got a stall letter. That doesn't matter. They're just buying time because legally they have 30 days to respond and they have to investigate your dispute. They have to investigate it and they're not there to help you. So more times than not, you're going to get a kickback. You're going to get a stall letter. You're going to say it's verified. You're going to say that it's validated. They're going to say they're not helping you, right? Which is why it's so important to separate the accounts. You should really work on getting your personal information updated and removed first. Say you lived on Elm Street. You live on Elm Street, you opened up a National Grid account. For whatever reasons, you didn't pay, it went to collections. Now you live on Humboldt Ave. And you go to try to get National Grid again or whatever electric bill in your name and you can't, so you got to dispute it, right? When you send that letter that says, I lived on Elm Street and I had a National Grid account, the computer is going to read and it's going to say where the collection was opened. What address was that collection opened at? And it's going to say Elm Street. They're going to tie you to Elm Street and they're going to verify it. Boom, stall letter verified, and that's what happens. And a lot of people think that that's the end of the road. Oh, they verified it. Yep, that's it. However, if you remove the fact, if you no longer live on Elm Street, and you live on Humboldt, you want to go tell them I live on Humboldt now, or you want to update your information. You want to update your information to where you currently live. If you currently live on Humboldt Ave right now, you need to update that. That way, when you go to dispute negative derogatory accounts and you remove the fact that you ever lived at Elm Street, guess what? They can't tie you to ever having that account. Which is why it's so important for you to remove and update your personal information first. We call those in my company pre-dispute rounds. That's what the computer is trying to look for. They're trying to verify it by saying, how do we tie this account to this address to this person? Oh, he did live on Elm Street, so it's definitely his account. But if you remove Elm Street out of the equation, they can't. Where did this account come from? Oh, maybe it isn't his. Maybe his brother opened it. Maybe his mom. Maybe his dog.
What did you do? What did you do? What?
Maybe somebody else opened this account, so they can't tie it to you, which that helps you just removing the low-hanging fruit. That's a gem. Send pre-dispute rounds. Send that off and remove your addresses. A lot of people look past that shit and they don't realize why they're not getting desired results. You've got to update your personal information. If now on the other side of that, if you have an account that's open and it's positive and you're paying it on time, make sure that you call them and tell them that you moved. Tell them, this account is open, it's reporting, I moved, this is my new address, this is where I want you to send my mail, update my information. You want to tell them this is where you currently live. Because it's only, especially if you're disputing negative accounts. You don't want anything to do with, we're told to leave the past in the past. I would honestly say if you have sent letters, I would say for at least 90 business days, that's 3 to 4 months. If you have sent letters disputing negative information and you're not yet getting all the desired results you want to, that's when you have to start disputing with the original creditor, right? So for example, say you have, we're going to stick with National Grid. Say you have National Grid. National Grid would be the original creditor, but they might be reporting your late payments, your closed account to TransUnion. If you have been disputing that account with TransUnion for at least 90 days, 3 to 4 months, business days, and you're not getting the desired results, this is now where you would take a dispute letter and send that to National Grid, right? National Grid is going to come back and either they're not going to respond, They're going to say, we don't know what the fuck you're talking about because we sold this. This was a charge off. We already wrote that off on our taxes. But still, you want that paper trail, because now you're going to take that paper trail and you're going to also send that back to TransUnion and say, National Grid doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about, so why are you still reporting this? Right? So like, that's why it's so important to create the paper trail. A lot of people, they don't want to send off the letters. They don't want to do the work. They don't have stamps. I don't have stamps. Unless I had a company, I'm having stamps. Right? And that's why a lot of people just go do it online. Like, you can't necessarily do all this shit online. You've got to do it the old school way and create that paper trail. Like I said in my last video, when you go to sue, guess what you're going to bring with you? All your receipts that you've been trying. You can't do that if you do it online. You can't. You need to create that paper trail so you can sue. If that's the type of party it is where you're going to sue, yeah, you want the paper trail. A gem, if you're going to go to the original creditor, I highly, highly recommend that you send those letters certified. It means that you're going to go to the post office and you're going to put your address, where it's coming from, where it's going to. The post office is going to basically give you a receipt and a tracking number that says, yep, we got this on this day and it's going to this address, and then you can follow it where it's going and you can see that they actually got it. And if you're really about that shit, send certified to everything. Does it really affect results? No. But it helps you with that paper trail. If you ever have to go and seek counsel, sue, you have that paper trail, you have the receipt, you have the tracking number that says, hey, I did mail this and they're not responding. Or they're saying it's verified when it's not. They're validating it, but they're not proving to me how they validated it, right? So that's why it's so important to do that paper trail. And what you also never want to do is, if you send anything certified, you don't want to volunteer that information to these agencies. You don't want to call 2-3 months later, call TransUnion, hey, I sent something certified it says you guys received it on the 10th. Don't say that. Let them lie to you. We don't have anything. We never got any disputes. We don't have anything. Keep that information to yourself that you sent it certified. That's only going to help you in the long run, because like I said before, credit reports are money, and this is why. When they play in your face, it's chess, not checkers. Let them tell on themselves. They're going to do it every time. They're going to tell on themselves every time. They're going to say they didn't get the letter. They're going to send a stall letter, which is not an investigation. It's not. They're going to just say it's frivolous and throw it in the trash. Let me also say, when you send these letters, make sure you're sending a valid, clear photocopy of an ID, a picture ID. So driver's license, passport, and also proof of address. So a utility bill, a bank statement, a pay stub showing where you currently live, where you can currently get mail. Send those 2 documents. I do not recommend sending your social security card, and I don't recommend putting your full social security number on these letters. Just put the last 4, because you want them to do the work for you. You don't want to do any of the work for them other than like your address, because you want to receive correspondence from them, of course. But other than that, you're not verifying anything. They're supposed to do that. If they're going to report it, you're going to